Hello and welcome to reaction video number 5 for business law. The video this time was called What If You Were an Immigrant? The speaker was Ben Huh. I hope I'm saying that last name correct. Ben was able to present a unique experience that I'm sure several people have. I just haven't spoken with any of them. That he himself was an immigrant when he was 14 years old. When his family moved to the U.S., they lived in a one-bedroom apartment, so his parents spent the night on a mattress on the floor. And they gave him a philosophy on consecutive generations of immigrant families, and that is that the parents pay the cost, the children reap the benefits, and the grandkids take it all for granted. Ben also went on to point out that a century ago, immigration to the U.S. was very different than it is today. The greatest suffering caused to the immigrants back then were caused by nature. Have it be distance, illness, or an act of God. But today's immigrants, the greatest suffering that they face is often caused by man, by it being the policy, separation of family, not so much the distance, the bureaucracy and red tape of immigration, and prejudice that accompanies being an immigrant or where they came from. He also pointed out that almost all Americans would say that the nation was built on immigration and that we are all descendants from immigrants. That's true. I have often heard my parents say that, and I know for a fact that my family comes from Wales, Ireland, Germany, France, and I want to say Scotland. A little bit. Ben then moved on to say that we have the Statue of Liberty, but the thought of people coming into our country makes us nervous. When trying to find the source of the fear, Ben thought the idea that we might believe that there are a finite source of jobs in the U.S., which in certain industries there are. But there's always more jobs being created, especially with the growth of technology. Another idea that the speaker, Ben, gave was that only people with a specific job aptitude or skill should be let in, which may or may not be a bad idea, because if I'm remembering history correctly, on Ellis Island, the immigrants had 12 minutes to prove that they were healthy, they were literate, and that they could find a job and not be a burden on society. 12 minutes. Another idea that Ben passed on was that only people that look like me should be let in. And that's his phrasing, which is kind of odd in the phrasing, because depending upon who is saying it, the people that look like them would be completely different. Ben then went to point out that the view of immigration has always been through race, and that we have very outdated rules than what we believe today when it comes to immigration. He also went to point out that the reason why the U.S. is currently having a growing population is because of immigration, and without it, we would not be able to support the retirees of our nation. That's because I have the idea and feeling that Social Security is a legalized pyramid scheme. What else would you call a unit that is taking the money from the lowest levels to fund the higher levels? It's a pyramid scheme. And then a very interesting fact that Ben pointed out close to the end of his talk, that at least a third of internet startups in the US have an immigrant founder or co-founder. That hadn't sparked any interest in my mind of why I would want to look that up, but it is a very interesting statistic. Yeah. So yeah, this has been a video reaction to Ben Hood's, hope that's pronounced correctly, TED Talk titled, "What If You Were an Immigrant?"